What is going on, everybody? Browns gratification here, and today we're going to be talking about can the Browns beat the Chiefs and how they can beat them schematically and all of the above. So let's get right into it. Key players for the Chiefs: Patrick Mahomes, obviously, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and McCole Hardman. And then defensively, they have Frank Clark, Chris Jones, and Tyrann Mathieu. Okay. So talking about their offensive players first, we're gonna have Denzel Ward back. We're gonna have Kevin Johnson back. Thank goodness. Now the only problem I have with this is I assume they're gonna be double teaming Tyreek Hill a bunch, right? With Carl Joseph or Andrew Sendejo, Sheldrick Redwine, whoever's there at safety. So it'll be Denzel Ward. Sometimes I assume on on one, but most of the time I think we'll have another player to help him, just because Tyreek Hill's so explosive and they respect him a bunch. That's where it leaves, Terrence Mitchell, who's the second corner, against McCole Hardman, who's a really good receiver. I mean, he's a good receiver, not a really good receiver, but he can put up yards, get a bunch of catches on you, um, especially when you have Patrick Mahomes covering you. So if you don't see Tyreek Hill have a big game, expect to have McCole Hardman and Travis Kelce to have a big game. Travis Kelce going to be tough to guard him, but the linebackers have done a much better job in covering, especially Malcolm Smith and B.J. Goodson, Mac Wilson and Sione Takitaki, not very much. So that's the only thing that really worries me a lot. And I think from what they've done before, they might have Carl Joseph on Travis Kelce a couple times, maybe a bunch of times. We're gonna find out. So if you can stop Travis Kelce and kind of some way in a way limit Tyreek Hill, which will be tough, but you could do it. Um, then you're gonna have to make them rely on McCole Hardman. So, and then Patrick Mahomes, obviously get pressure on him. Don't let him get comfortable. Don't let the offense flip the switch and just you could be up 17-3 and out of nowhere you could be down 24 to 17. That's just how that offense works. Now, key players for the Browns. It was tough to choose, but offensively, it's Baker, Jarvis, Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt. And then, honorable mentions the offensive line, but I know they're going to do well. You just got to watch out for Chris Jones because, you know, everybody except for, besides Aaron Donald, Chris Jones might be one of the most disruptive players on that D line. So, you know, watch out for him and don't let him get comfortable. But I say Baker Mayfield because I don't want him to underestimate this defense. It's not great, but don't underestimate it. And I think I in years previous, you could say don't want them to underestimate, but I think this coaching staff really has these players in check. And I just feel so much more comfortable with this coaching staff than years previous. Obviously, they don't let their players get comfortable. They make them expect the worst, which I could confidently say that they will do, which is something that we don't know much about as Browns fans. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, man, I cannot wait for this Kareem Hunt game. I think it's going to be a big game on Kareem Hunt, a revenge game. I think there's that mutual respect with the Chiefs and Kareem Hunt, especially between Patrick Mahomes and Kareem Hunt. They kind of had to do it, right? I mean, you couldn't keep him on the team, but that's hey, Kareem Hunt. They took him off the team, so that's a revenge game for him, right? Uh, Run defense for the Chiefs not very good whatsoever. Their defense, like I said, not very good. But again, don't underestimate it. They have Tyrann Mathieu. You got to watch out for two good defensive linemen. So I mean, watch out for them. And then Jarvis Landry gonna get open. They don't have the best corners. They have I think his name's Brashard Breeland. I know his last name's Breeland. I think he's like their best corner on the team. So I think Jarvis Landry should have a decent game, good game. Defensively, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, Denzel Ward and Carl Joseph are gonna have to play big for us. Miles Garrett, we're gonna need to see more out of him. He hasn't had a sack in a couple games. We need to see a sack or two this game, disrupt that offensive line. And then Larry Ogunjobi, who talent-wise might not be the second best player on the team, but he has potential to be a really good defensive lineman. He just doesn't put it to use all the time. But that play against Maurice Pouncey pushed him back into the running back and stopped that. I think it was a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. So we got to see more of that out of him. The offensive line, besides Mitchell Schwartz, isn't too impressive. They have Eric Fisher, who is not worth that first round. He's honestly, everybody besides Mitchell Schwartz, you shouldn't really be worried about. And then moving on. Now, this is an interesting stat I saw on NFL Research on their Twitter, so all credit goes to them there. I'll put the tweet in the description below just in case. This was Baker Mayfield versus the Blitz in the 2020 season. Chiefs blitzed 38.9% on dropbacks, which is the fourth highest in the league. I don't know what the Steelers' blitz was percentage wise. I would assume it's more than the Kansas City Chiefs, but I don't know. So Baker Mayfield's 67% on the blitz, 67 completion percent on the blitz, 8.2 yards per attempt, has a 15 to 3 touchdown to interception ratio, and 113.6 passer rating. Um, and then that's top five in the NFL. The Chiefs allow a 57.3 completion percentage, which is top five in the NFL, which is very good. They blitz really well. They've allowed 6.9 yards per attempt, a 12 to 8 touchdown ratio, and allow a passer rating of 81.8. Now, I assume that the Browns know this and are well aware of this. So, you know, we've seen Baker Mayfield throw a bunch of this last month or so. I assume this is going to be a very run-centric game. Um, I would say anywhere between 30 to 40 carries. But again, I think they're going to test out that DB situation there in the Kansas City side, and then throw the ball down the field, get them thinking we're going to run, then play action, and then boom, 30-yard completion to Jarvis Landry, Rashard Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones. We're going to see. It's going to be a fun game. Before I say anything, win or lose, um, I'm so proud of this season. I'm so happy for the Cleveland Browns to, beat the Pittsburgh Steelers when no one thought we could without our head coach, left guard, um, a couple of other staff and players. Yeah, it was a good season. This season was a success. Now, anything after this is just bonus. So thank you guys for watching. Like, favorite, subscribe, and go Browns.